So, do you guys remember back in January when I uploaded my top 10 movies of 2016? Yeah, that video was late, okay, but what it did, I don't know, get me started on was top 10s. I, for a long time, have had my own top 10 list of, um, you know, best sequels ever. So, and I thought, why not share them with you guys? So this is my top 10 movie sequels. So, second to the first. So, yeah, this is my top 10 of all the popular movies out there that had sequels, and those sequels were better than the first one. So, yeah, let's just get straight into it then. Well, you don't have a list. No. Anyway, so at number 10 is Mad Max: The Road Warrior. Now, after watching Mad Max Fury Road, I was amazed at that movie. That was so good. That was just a tense action movie. Tense and like very nail biting, and it was just like all in your face, and it was awesome. And it was because of that movie that I then wanted to see what all the buzz was about with all these other ones. I watched the first one was good. Watched the second one was even better. Third one was crap. But the second one still, the Road Warrior still to me does stand out in my mind. It's not, for me, it's not as good as Fury Road, but it's still good. And that the climactic car chase at the end of the movie was great. It actually reminded me of Mad Max Fury Road, so it was fantastic. By the end of the movie, my eyes were just glued. By the end of The Road Warrior, my eyes were just glued to the screen, and I love it. It was great. At number 9 is Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, I know a lot of you Trekkie fans will be thinking, why is this particular Star Trek movie on your list? Because I have not watched all the original movies yet. When I watch all the original movies, then it may replace this one. But for now, Star Trek Into Darkness for me was just better than Star Trek, the first one that rebooted the franchise. This one was a lot darker. It went in. It was very mature. And Khan.
My name is Khan.
I can't say this for sure, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know, because I told you I haven't seen Wrath of Khan yet. Sorry, but for me, I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm a huge Benedict Cumberbatch fan, if you guys didn't know. And him in this movie, he was menacing and he was awesome. But it wasn't just him, as I said. It went in some very dark places. It was very mature, and one of the many things that I like about these Star Trek movies is the characters. And I mentioned it before. The characters are great. The characters is what sells this franchise. At number 8 is X-Men 2. Or X-Men United. I really don't know what the title of that movie is. It's kind of like Edge of Tomorrow. It's like, is it Edge of Tomorrow or Live, Die, Repeat? I don't know. That's the same thing with this. Anyway, beside that, the movie is great. Every time I watch it, I just, somehow I get more invested into the story. And it just, I don't know what it is, but every time I watch this X-Men movie, I just get more invested into the story, and it just becomes more interesting to me. Wolverine's story in this is great. Fully explored, great, done. Didn't need another one. So, that's why that movie, in my mind, doesn't exist. This one is the best. If you want to watch a good movie that focuses on Wolverine's origin, this is the movie to do it. At number 7 is Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. Now, I know a lot of you will be thinking, how can you specifically say the Richard Donner cut because it came out decades later? Well, because it still is the sequel to the original Superman movie. Because this was the original cut of the film. The Richard Donner cut was the original edit of the film. This was how it was meant to look in theaters. But the company came in and changed it all. I don't know why. The company is stupid, but this is the real Superman 2. This is the real sequel to the first ever Superman blockbuster film. This is the one, and that's why I like it. It's great. Zod, I will say a lot better than Michael Shannon's Zod. Or any other Superman movie can be better than Man of Steel, in my opinion. But this is a great movie to watch if you want to watch a storyline revolving around Zod and Superman. This is the movie to do it, not Man of Steel. So, at number 6 is Spider-Man 2. Okay, this movie I grew up with. So, yeah. I grew up with Spider-Man 2. I didn't really realize how much of a good movie it was until I actually started to mature in my knowledge of film. This is a great film. I honestly think it's a little underrated. I mean, it deserves a higher rating. It is a fantastic movie. It very maturely, I don't know if that's a word, but in a very mature way focuses on how superheroes would live in the real world. I think, for me at least, this was the first superhero movie that I saw a superhero actually going through real life struggles. He was suffering in school, he was trying to get jobs and stuff, he was trying to get more money so he could rent a place, and he was struggling with relationships. This is a great movie. It's written well, acted well, just really good. And if you thought Dr. Octopus was a bad villain, you won't in this movie. He is a pretty good villain that you can, to an extent, relate to. And I would encourage you, if you want to watch a Spider-Man movie, watch the first one and this one. Two really good Spider-Man movies. At number 5 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. This movie blew me away. I saw this in cinemas all the way back in 2014. Man, that was a long time ago, but I wasn't even on YouTube then. But I love this movie. I went to see it with my friends. Honestly, I was excited for it going into it, but I actually didn't expect it to be as good as it was. This was a fantastic movie that was really grounded, okay? Really grounded. A very good spy espionage film. And it's because of this movie that now I love Captain America. Everyone says it, but it's true. This movie made me love Captain America. It was fantastic. The Winter Soldier also, in my opinion, one of the best villains at the time. Well, he plays both sides because of the whole mind thing. But in the movie Winter Soldier, he was one of the best at the time. For me, he was one of the best villains in the MCU, next to Loki, Wilson Fisk, and well, that's about it. Oh, and Ultron. But at the time, I didn't see either Daredevil or Age of Ultron. But you get the point. At number 4 is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Came out the same year as The Winter Soldier. Didn't expect it to be good. The first one was good. I really liked the first one. Then I saw this one. Holy shit. This movie was so good. It was like, for me, it felt like, it wasn't directed by him, but it felt like it was directed by Christopher Nolan, okay? It felt like a Christopher Nolan, like if he ever directed a Planet of the Apes movie, this is probably what it would look like, very similar to that. I really cannot find any fault with this movie. It is a fantastic movie. So grounded. Like it invests you so quickly. You wanna. There are times where you want to root for the apes and where you want to root for the humans. It's incredibly well balanced, very, very, very investing and intriguing, and I love this movie. Performances, great. By the way, motion capture definitely should get an Oscar category. After this movie, they should. Motion capture acting should get a Oscar category. Okay, so before I go to the top 3, I just want to assure you guys that for me, these top 3 are not really in any order, okay? What it is I couldn't find... These top 3 are my top 3 favorite movies of all time. So I really couldn't put them in any order, so they are in an order, but don't really look at it like that. Understand that these are just, I put them in this order not because they're my least favorite or most favorite. It's simply because I just, really all I did was flip the coin and just put them in this order. So understand that in my mind, these are not really in any order. They're just like this because they're on a top 10 list. So before I just don't want any hate coming in the comments. But here we go. At number 3 is Star Wars Episode 5: The Empire Strikes Back. Man, I've been obsessing over Star Wars lately. I fucking love it so much. I love Star Wars. So I grew up with this movie, like quite a bit of movies on this list. I grew up with the original trilogy, but mostly I grew up with the prequels. Sad, I know, but still, to an extent, I did grow up with the original trilogy. That means The Empire Strikes Back. And for a while, I took The Empire Strikes Back for granted. I just thought that, this was when I was a lot younger than what I am now. I took it for granted and didn't really, understand why it was so good. But then, as I've said many times on this list, when I started to mature in my knowledge of filmmaking, I really understood what the appeal was, and now I fucking love this movie. For me, this and The Force Awakens are the best Star Wars movies ever. This one and The Force Awakens, those two for me are the best Star Wars movies ever. This one went in some pretty dark places. It had dark turns and twists, and every time Darth Vader says that famous line, I always get goosebumps. Even if it's one goosebump, I still get goosebumps. At number 2 is Terminator 2: Judgment Day. Okay, I grew up with this movie as well, and I fucking love it. It's the best. Okay, I grew up watching this movie first, before the first one, which I know to a lot of you doesn't make any sense. How can someone watch the sequel to a movie first before even watching? I don't know. That's just how it happened. That's just how life sometimes works. Shit does not work the way you want it to. But I don't know, I guess I'm happy that I saw this first, because if I didn't grow up with this movie and were to watch it, say, right now, I probably wouldn't like it. But now that I've grown up with it, and now that I understand why people love this movie so much, and this is not one of those movies where, this is not like Empire Strikes Back or Spider-Man 2, where, I would watch it and take it for granted. I never, ever took this movie for granted. I'm glad that I watched it as a kid. That's why I'm saying if I were to watch it now, I probably wouldn't like it. I'm glad I watched it as a kid. I never, in my entire life, have taken this movie for granted. This is a fantastic movie. It's just good. It's just awesome. The action is great. A great villain. Also, at the time when I was a kid growing up with this movie, I didn't know that the Terminator was actually the villain in the first movie. So when I grew up and then watched the first movie, I actually started to appreciate the Terminator 2 a lot more, and I loved it even more because holy shit, that's the villain as the hero, and it's crazy. At number 1, I think you guys may know what it is, but in case you don't, drum roll. The Dark Knight. Oh, the crowd just went silent. The Dark Knight for me is the best sequel to a movie ever. It is the best Batman movie ever. It is the best movie that I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay? I just, words cannot explain how much I love this movie, how much I love the Joker, how much the actual storyline of them just trying to take out crime intrigues me, how it interests me. It's fantastic. And this is yet another movie that I never took for granted. I always knew this was a good movie. Even came out in 2008, so I would have been 9 or 10 at the time. I would have been 9, turning 10 at the time. So, and I never took this movie for granted. I knew it was always a good movie, and I love it. I just love it. This movie, I can tell you, if people ask me why I love Batman, it's usually either the entire Dark Knight trilogy or just The Dark Knight. If they ask me why I love Batman, yeah, I just throw this at them. That's why, because it's so good. Like, I wish, I actually have done a review for it, so if you want to, it's up here. But it's just good. It's a good movie. Please go and watch it if you haven't. Watch Batman Begins, watch then The Dark Knight, then The Dark Knight Rises. It's going to be great. This trilogy is so good, but this movie stands out of all the other movies, even this whole top 10 list. This movie is the best for me. And I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on which is your top 10 list. Please go down, like and comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel for more. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Actually, that was a bit abrupt, don't you think, Jeff? I really do. I hate abrupt endings. Yeah. Anyway.